others in opposition. I said, this is a difficult game, it's not easy to make money, everyone's laying traps through. I'm well used to them.
You'll figure out the traps, Teddy.
Even this year they have the Ray timing, which is, and the club rang me there to be very fair to them, and they said, I'd only be delighted. Everybody thinks they know everything.
Well, we all know you're the one that knows it all, Teddy.
I wish it was true.
The wealthiest man in County Kilkenny.
Absolutely no truth
and the wealthiest man visiting Tipperary today. Teddy, anyway, now that we're getting into the business end of the stakes, what do you fancy, say, on the all-age bitches there?
I think the cup is wide open. The Ahamore dog is probably...
And the Premier Cup would say, yeah.
Yeah, the Premier Cup, he'll stay on a bit. But I think it's quite possible we'll get a result in that. Solid Street, Crescent Dash, if he stays going, local dog. Bitches are running very well down the bottom. We'd say Wilderness Queen, she pings away. It'll be a tight course in the morning. I just think it's wide open.
And in the dog trial stake, Teddy, it looks fairly open too.
Well, I'm hoping it's not. I have two bogies. I have the top one, Presto Wave, and of course, well done friend, they'll be my two bogies. I'd be hoping one of the other two will win.
And looking at it on form, do you think the two of them will be up in the final?
If I had my pick, I'd take the top one. If I had my pick.
Even let him be a bogey away.
Let him be a bogey.
If you owned one of the four, that's one you'd go for.
If I owned one of the four, that's the one I'd pick.
Fair enough.
That's the question. So
We're here with Sean Doyle, a well-known bookie and clockman. Long time coming to Templetuohy. Sean, you're enjoying the meeting?
Yeah, it's very good, Pat.
Coursing is going fairly well.
That's very, very good. Very straight. Very good hairs as well.
I suppose that from a booking point of view, you'd rather an odd wild one to give an odd twist in a few turns.
I had a tradition in Templetuohy for years having wild hairs, but this thing has all been straightened up.
We seem to have straightened them up a bit now in the last couple of years.
Super
no, we were just going to maybe ask you, Sean. I suppose a couple of lads said to me last night, we were having a chat after coursing, and he says, why was there so many fellas flagging and clocking, and how does all that work? And I suppose what's the science behind that and what kind of a guide can you take from it?
Well, I suppose the tradition of flagging and clocking is that you're trying to analyse the pace of the dogs for over 220, 30 yards maybe. And what we do is we have a flagman at the bottom of the field who picks a mark roughly 25 yards from the slipper's hut, and he drops his flag at that point as the dogs pass. So he'll keep his eye on that mark, and the minute the dogs hit the mark, he drops the flag, and the clockman is watching the flagman, and the clockman clicks his clock as he drops his flag, and he has a spot roughly 230 yards maybe up the field, somewhere near the turn, and in order to get the best of the pace, generally close to the turn, and he'll switch his eye to the mark that he's on as the dogs come up. And the key to it all is that you have to have a straight course, no bumping, and you get a fair
assessment of the
dog's pace. It won't tell you whether he's going to hunt it after that, or whether he's got the heart or the drive or whatever, but that's just basically.
And would you feel that the first round clock is the real guide, or or can you assess it as a dog goes forward? Is he going back, or improving, or holding his clock?
It varies, of course. First of all, it gives you the idea of the pace, but it doesn't say that he will repeat it. And the good dog can repeat it round after round. A good coursing dog should be able to retain his clock from round to round
within a few spots.
Yeah, and some dogs go back. Rarely do you get dogs going forward. But really good dogs will hold their clock round after round, and that's the key to. So you can have a dog doing a great run first time and going back, and then of course he's vulnerable every time he runs. Then he's going back.
So it's pretty much, I suppose, two people have to be really concentrating on their game.
Absolutely.
The card must be dropped at the right time, and the clock must be started and stopped at the right time.
Yeah, and I suppose over time and experience tells you, you're watching the course, you must switch away to get to the mark, so you miss about 40 yards of the course when you're switching, but you're watching the course for anything going offline, bumping, where the pace of the dog's been shown. That's all part of it all, and you're recording that as well as you go.
I suppose this year we've brought in a kind of a new innovation for us. It's not obviously a new innovation around the country, but we put in the ray timing, which I suppose is based on a breaking a beam and breaking a beam at the top, which is, I suppose, making it a little bit more scientific in that it should be spot on every time. But obviously, as you say, the assessment of that, because you'll still have the bumping and dogs offline and whatever else in a course. How does, I suppose, to compare your clocks on the meeting and the ray timing, how do they match up?
Well, I can tell sometimes if I think that the ray clock was wrong, I would be saying maybe that might be wrong. Something is wrong here, because my clock, for instance, yesterday was 26 spots above the Ray time and clock, and consistently 26 between me and the Ray. So if there was anything changed, you'd say, there's something wrong with one of them. Now, the reason that there were so many flagmen here is we haven't actually got to the point where we trust the clock, the Ray clock.
Yes.
Yeah, because little things can happen. Occasionally someone can break a beam by accident, and suddenly if you've
the
no
clock
clock
is thrown out and you've no clock on that course.
So until
which throws out the whole card.
Throws out the whole card, yeah. And of course, perfectionists that we are, we want it all.
Yes. Well, all the information is important, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's part of the jigsaw. We try to put the jigsaw together.
But it's good to know that we'll say if you're saying your clock was more or less, I suppose you're a bit above the mark,
above it, yeah.
But you were about nearly the same thing every time.
The same thing, yeah. Pretty much the same thing. So
in time, maybe you're going to believe the Ray.
Yeah. Well, you see, it doesn't work in every field, but this is a perfect field for it because it's level, and the beam can cross without humps and hollows in the ground. So, like if you have dips, the hair can go under too far or too high on a higher spot. So it's ideal.
You need a good rising ground without any dips in it.
Without any dips, yeah. So it doesn't work in every field, but this is a perfect field for it.
I suppose to move to today anyway, Sean, what's your, in the big stakes, the Premier Cup, tis the one people like to win. There's points involved for Champion Stakes.
Is points involved.
What's your fancy at this stage?
Well, I think Ahamore Wonder has a great chance. I know he's going for Champion Stakes points as well, and even though he's not on the table at the moment, he can make it if he wins here today. Yeah. Southern
There's
Street,
9 points, of course, on offer today, for the winner.
That's right. It's a huge, and 4,000 in prize money. That makes a big change in the Champion Stakes
He'll
table.
move right up the table if he wins.
He would. Also, Southern Street would qualify if he can make it into the final. Even would.
That's my man probably has a chance.
That's my man has a chance. He would. He has a cup one, and he can win. He can win it as well.
The local runner,
it's quite open.
The local runner, there'll be lots of lads
Crescent
around the stand cheering him on.
Crescent Ash is there, and I think he probably beat Southern Street this morning. I think there's just a little bit of extra work that he got yesterday might come against Southern Street. Yeah, Crescent Ash, good dog last year. It just seems to be in his prime at the minute.
Yeah, he seems to be running well here.
Yeah, it's running well. Yeah.
Ahamore Wonder will be your chip there though overall, would it?
I think he's the easier side of it. Just at the
likes
minute.
This field too, of course, when he's tried to here last year.
Yeah, it's interesting that both Lila Bamba and Ahamore Wonder both won last year in the field, and both
here
won
in the back
well
the last 8 in the Premier Cup the year after. So
yeah, they're here.
Obviously the connections were happy enough with the place.
Absolutely, yeah, sure.
In the bitch stake, would you think the Blades bitch is the one to beat?
Yeah, I think so. I think her clock wouldn't reflect her ability there on the first day because the hair came slightly on the near side for her, and she was trying to get online of it, and there was bumping in the course, and she fought really hard against a very decent pitch
against a good pitch.
To beat the main hope. Yeah.
No bother, Sean. Listen, thanks very much for that, and thanks for explaining the clocking for dummies. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thanks,
Sean.
Okay.
And in Crest of a Wave and Union Mick about to be slipped.
We're back onto the Derby Trial Stake. For semi-final, this is Crest of a Wave and Union Mick. The win there in the first semi-final, it's the red collar. That's Crest of a Wave. 1082 is the clock. This is the second semi-final in the Derby Trial Stake. This is the Reserve B, Blake Mount Atom. And Well Done Friend. Winners on the red collar, that's Blake Mount Atom.
Red collar, the Reserve B, Blake Mount Adam was the winner of that second semi-final. Time 10:84.
1084, came in as a reserve, he's now in the final. This is the final of the Derby Trial Stake. On the red collar is Crest of a Wave, and on the white collar is the Reserve B, Blake Mount Atom.
Go on the way! Go on the way! Go on the way!
One-sided.
We're going again, second time of asking here now in the final of the Derby Trial Stake. This is Crest of a Wave and Blake Mount Adam, the Reserve B.
On the way!
Huge support there for the red collar, Crest of a Wave, owned in County Clare. I don't think there'll be a cow milk there tonight or for next month. It's all over here now in Templetuohy for 2019. Well, Declan, so tell me about that. What was that like?
It was fucking amazing. Well,
And having to go up there in the final second time.
Seven times. He's a good dog. Good, a very good dog.
And what was it like when you went home there last night? How did you fancy your chances coming into this morning?
Well, we didn't go home last night. We stayed in Templetuohy last night. So we said we went too far to travel this morning. But well, we always know he was a good dog. Always know he was a good dog. Serious dog.
And so tell me, who's in the syndicate with you, Declan?
There's three of us from Kilkee, was clear. There's 4 fellas from Tuam and there's 1 Englishman with us. But just this time last year we seen him up on the internet, and we just picked one off the video, and he was the one.
Very good. And have you many greyhounds before, Declan?
Well, myself and David and Kieran, we'd a tricycle winner there in about 10 years ago now, and we had we'd a tricycle winner there in 2013 as well. So we've had a few, but a few better ones in between now as well.
But every time it's a good time.
Exactly. Yeah, we've been lucky. We've been lucky.
Okay, well done. Look, best of luck in Powerstown. It's only 4 weeks away.
I know.
Today,
yeah. 7 runs mightn't help me, but you never know. He's a tough dog.
Okay, best of luck anyway.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good man.